أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
How can you disbelieve in Allah when you were lifeless and He brought you to life? Then He will cause you to die, then He will bring you back to life, and then to Him you will be returned. The Jews say, the Christians have nothing true to stand on. And the Christians say, the Jews have nothing to stand on, although they both recite the scripture. Thus the polytheists speak the same as their words. But Allah will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that over which they used to differ. Beautified for those who disbelieve is the life of this world, and they ridicule those who believe. But those who fear Allah are above them on the day of resurrection, and Allah gives provision to whom He wills without account. Mention when Allah said, O Jesus, indeed I will take you and raise you to myself, and purify you from those who disbelieve, and make those who follow you in submission to Allah alone superior to those who disbelieve until the day of resurrection. Then to me is your return, and I will judge between you concerning that in which you used to differ. Indeed, those who exchange the covenant of Allah and their own oaths for a small price will have no share in the hereafter, and Allah will not speak to them or look at them on the day of resurrection, nor will He purify them, and they will have a painful punishment. It is not attributable to any prophet that he would act unfaithfully in regard to war booty. And whoever betrays, taking unlawfully, will come with what he took on the day of resurrection. Then will every soul be fully compensated for what it earned, and they will not be wronged. And let not those who greedily withhold what Allah has given them of His bounty ever think that it is better for them. Rather, it is worse for them. Their necks will be encircled by what they withheld on the day of resurrection. And to Allah belongs the heritage of the heavens and the earth, and Allah, with what you do, is fully acquainted. Every soul will taste death, and you will only be given your full compensation on the day of resurrection. So he who is drawn away from the fire and admitted to paradise has attained his desire. And what is the life of this world except the enjoyment of delusion? Our Lord, and grant us what you promised us through your messengers, and do not disgrace us on the day of resurrection. Indeed, you do not fail in your promise. Allah, there is no deity except Him. He will surely assemble you for account on the day of resurrection, about which there is no doubt. And who is more truthful than Allah in statement? Here you are, those who argue on their behalf in this worldly life. But who will argue with Allah for them on the day of resurrection? Or who will then be their representative? Those who wait and watch you. Then if you gain a victory from Allah, they say, were we not with you? But if the disbelievers have a success, they say to them, did we not gain the advantage over you, but we protected you from the believers? Allah will judge between all of you on the day of resurrection, and never will Allah give the disbelievers over the believers a way to overcome them. And there is none from the people of the scripture but that he will surely believe in Jesus before his death, and on the day of resurrection he will be against them a witness. And from those who say, we are Christians, we took their covenant, but they forgot a portion of that of which they were reminded. So we caused among them animosity and hatred until the day of resurrection, and Allah is going to inform them about what they used to do. Indeed, those who disbelieve, if they should have all that is in the earth, and the like of it, with it by which to ransom themselves from the punishment of the day of resurrection, it will not be accepted from them, and for them is a painful punishment. And the Jews say, the hand of Allah is chained. Chained are their hands, and cursed are they for what they say. Rather, both his hands are extended. He spends however he wills. And that which has been revealed to you from your Lord will surely increase many of them in transgression and disbelief. And we have cast among them animosity and hatred until the day of resurrection. Every time they kindled the fire of war against you, Allah extinguished it, and they strive throughout the land, causing corruption, and Allah does not like corrupters. Say, to whom belongs whatever is in the heavens and earth? Say, to Allah. He has decreed upon himself mercy. He will surely assemble you for the day of resurrection, about which there is no doubt. Those who will lose themselves that day do not believe. And it is He who created the heavens and earth in truth, and the day He says, be, and it is, His word is the truth. And His is the dominion on the day the horn is blown. He is knower of the unseen and the witnessed, and He is the wise, the acquainted. Say, who has forbidden the adornment of Allah, which He has produced for His servants, and the good lawful things of provision? Say, they are for those who believe during worldly life, but exclusively for them on the day of resurrection. Thus do we detail the verses for a people who know. And mention when your Lord declared that He would surely continue to send upon them until the day of resurrection those who would afflict them with the worst torment. Indeed, your Lord is swift in penalty, but indeed, He is forgiving and merciful. And we had certainly settled the children of Israel in an agreeable settlement, and provided them with good things. And they did not differ until after knowledge had come to them. Indeed, your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that over which they used to differ. And that was Ad, who rejected the signs of their Lord and disobeyed His messengers, and followed the order of every obstinate tyrant. And they were therefore followed in this world with a curse, and as well on the day of resurrection. Unquestionably, Ad denied their Lord. Then away with Ad, the people of Hud. He will precede his people on the day of resurrection and lead them into the fire, and wretched is the place to which they are led. They were followed in this world with a curse and on the day of resurrection, and wretched is the gift which is given. And if you are astonished, O Muhammad, then astonishing is their saying, when we are dust, will we indeed be brought into a new creation? Those are the ones who have disbelieved in their Lord, and those will have shackles upon their necks, and those are the companions of the fire, they will abide therein eternally, that they may bear their own burdens in full on the day of resurrection, and some of the burdens of those whom they misguide without knowledge. Unquestionably, evil is that which they bear. Then on the day of resurrection He will disgrace them and say, where are my partners for whom you used to oppose the believers? Those who were given knowledge will say, indeed, disgrace this day and evil are upon the disbelievers. It is so He will make clear to them the truth of that wherein they differ, and so those who have disbelieved may know that they were liars. And do not be like she who untwisted her spun thread after it was strong, by taking your oaths as means of deceit between you, because one community is more plentiful in number or wealth than another community. Allah only tries you thereby, and He will surely make clear to you on the day of resurrection that over which you used to differ. The Sabbath was only appointed for those who differed over it, and indeed, your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that over which they used to differ. And for every person we have imposed his fate upon his neck, and we will produce for him on the day of resurrection a record which he will encounter spread open, or any creation of that which is great within your breasts. And they will say, who will restore us? Say, He who brought you forth the first time. Then they will nod their heads toward you and say, when is that? Say, perhaps it will be soon. On the day He will call you, and you will respond with praise of Him, and think that you had not remained in the world except for a little. And there is no city but that we will destroy it before the day of resurrection, or punish it with a severe punishment. That has ever been in the register inscribed. Iblis said, "Do you see this one whom you have honored above me? If you delay me until the day of resurrection, I will surely destroy his descendants, except for a few. And whoever Allah guides, he is the rightly guided. And whoever he sends astray, you will never find for them protectors besides him. And we will gather them on the day of resurrection, fallen on their faces, blind, deaf, and dumb. Their refuge is hell. Every time it subsides, we increase them in blazing fire. That is their recompense, because they disbelieved in our verses and said, 'When we are bones and crumbled particles, will we truly be resurrected in a new creation?' Do they not see that Allah, who created the heavens and earth, is the one able to create the likes of them, and He has appointed for them a term about which there is no doubt, but the wrongdoers refuse anything except disbelief. And warn of the day when we will remove the mountains and you will see the earth prominent, and we will gather them and not leave behind from them anyone. Those are the ones who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord and in their meeting Him, so their deeds have become worthless, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any importance. And all of them are coming to Him on the day of resurrection alone. From the earth we created you, and into it we will return you, and from it we will extract you another time. Whoever turns away from it, then indeed he will bear on the day of resurrection a burden, abiding eternally therein, and evil it is for them on the day of resurrection as a load. The day the horn will be blown, and we will gather the criminals that day, blue-eyed. And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed he will have a depressed life, and we will gather him on the day of resurrection blind. And we place the scales of justice for the day of resurrection, so no soul will be treated unjustly at all. And if there is even the weight of a mustard seed, we will bring it forth, and sufficient are we as accountant, that they may know that the hour is coming, no doubt about it, and that Allah will resurrect those in the graves, twisting His neck in arrogance to mislead people from the way of Allah. For him in the world is disgrace, and we will make him taste on the day of resurrection the punishment of the burning fire, while it is said, "Indeed, those who have believed, and those who were Jews, and the Sabians, and the Christians, and the Magians, and those who associated with Allah, Allah will judge between them on the day of resurrection. Indeed, Allah is, over all things, witness. And He is the one who gave you life. Then He causes you to die, and then will again give you life. Indeed, mankind is ungrateful. Allah will judge between you on the day of resurrection concerning that over which you used to differ. Then indeed you, on the day of resurrection, will be resurrected. And they have already come upon the town which was showered with a rain of stones. So have they not seen it? But they are not expecting resurrection. Multiplied for him is the punishment on the day of resurrection, and he will abide therein humiliated. And do not disgrace me on the day they are all resurrected. And we made them leaders, inviting to the fire, and on the day of resurrection they will not be helped. We caused to overtake them in this world a curse, and on the day of resurrection they will be of the despised. Then is he whom we have promised a good promise, which he will obtain, like he for whom we provided enjoyment of worldly life, but then he is, on the day of resurrection, among those presented for punishment in hell? Say, have you considered, if Allah should make for you the night continuous until the day of resurrection, what deity other than Allah could bring you light? Then will you not hear? Say, have you considered, if Allah should make for you the day continuous until the day of resurrection, What deity other than Allah could bring you a night in which you may rest? Then will you not see? And out of His mercy He made for you the night and the day, that you may rest therein and by day seek from His bounty, and that perhaps you will be grateful. Warn of the day He will call them and say, "Where are my partners which you used to claim?" And we will extract from every nation a witness and say, "Produce your proof." And they will know that the truth belongs to Allah, and lost from them is that which they used to invent. Indeed, Qarun was from the people of Moses, but he tyrannized them, and we gave him of treasures whose keys would burden a band of strong men. Thereupon his people said to him, "Do not exult. Indeed, Allah does not like the exultant. But seek, through that which Allah has given you, the home of the hereafter, and yet do not forget your share of the world, and do good as Allah has done good to you, and desire not corruption in the land. Indeed, Allah does not like corrupters." He said, "I was only given it because of knowledge I have. Did he not know that Allah had destroyed before him of generations those who were greater than him in power and greater in accumulation of wealth? But the criminals about their sins will not be asked." So he came out before his people in his adornment. Those who desired the worldly life said, "Oh, would that we had like what was given to Qarun. Indeed, he is one of great fortune." But those who had been given knowledge said, "Woe to you! The reward of Allah is better for he who believes and does righteousness, and none are granted it except the patient." And we caused the earth to swallow him and his home, and there was for him no company to aid him other than Allah, nor was he of those who could defend themselves. Indeed, O Muhammad, he who imposed upon you the Quran will take you back to a place of return. Say, "My Lord is most knowing of who brings guidance and who is in clear error." But they will surely carry their own burdens and other burdens along with their burdens, and they will surely be questioned on the day of resurrection about what they used to invent. Say, O Muhammad, travel through the land and observe how He began creation. Then Allah will produce the final creation. Indeed, Allah over all things is competent. And Abraham said, "You have only taken, other than Allah, idols as a bond of affection among you in worldly life. Then on the day of resurrection you will deny one another and curse one another, and your refuge will be the fire, and you will not have any helpers." Allah begins creation, then He will repeat it, then to Him you will be returned. And of His signs is that the heaven and earth remain by His command. Then when He calls you with a single call from the earth, immediately you will come forth. And it is He who begins creation, then He repeats it, and that is even easier for Him. To Him belongs the highest attribute in the heavens and earth, and He is the exalted in might, the wise. Allah is the one who created you, then provided for you, then will cause you to die, and then will give you life. Are there any of your partners who does anything of that? Exalted is He, and high above what they associate with Him. But those who were given knowledge and faith will say, "You remained the extent of Allah's decree until the day of resurrection, and this is the day of resurrection, but you did not use to know." Your creation and your resurrection will not be but as that of a single soul. Indeed, Allah is hearing and seeing. Indeed, Allah alone has knowledge of the hour, and sends down the rain and knows what is in the wombs. And no soul perceives what it will earn tomorrow, and no soul perceives in what land it will die. Indeed, Allah is knowing and acquainted. Indeed, your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that over which they used to differ. But those who disbelieve say, "Shall we direct you to a man who will inform you that when you have disintegrated in complete disintegration, you will then be recreated in a new creation?" If you invoke them, they do not hear your supplication, and if they heard, they would not respond to you. And on the day of resurrection they will deny your association, and none can inform you like one acquainted with all matters. Indeed, it is we who bring the dead to life and record what they have put forth and what they left behind, and all things we have enumerated in a clear register. Say, He will give them life who produced them the first time, and He is, of all creation, knowing. He said, "My Lord, then reprieve me until the day they are resurrected. So worship what you will besides Him. Say, indeed, the losers are the ones who will lose themselves and their families on the day of resurrection. Unquestionably, that is the manifest loss. Then is he who will shield with his face the worst of the punishment on the day of resurrection, like one secure from it? And it will be said to the wrongdoers, taste what you used to earn. And indeed you, on the day of resurrection, before your Lord, will dispute. And if those who did wrong had all that is in the earth entirely, and the like of it with it, they would attempt to ransom themselves thereby from the worst of the punishment on the day of resurrection. And there will appear to them from Allah that which they had not taken into account. And on the day of resurrection you will see those who lied about Allah with their faces blackened. Is there not in hell a residence for the arrogant? They have not appraised Allah with true appraisal, while the earth entirely will be within His grip on the day of resurrection, and the heavens will be folded in His right hand. Exalted is He, and high above what they associate with Him. And the horn will be blown, and whoever is in the heavens and whoever is on the earth will fall dead except whom Allah wills. Then it will be blown again, and at once they will be standing, looking on. And the earth will shine with the light of its Lord, and the record of deeds will be placed, and the prophets and the witnesses will be brought, and it will be judged between them in truth, and they will not be wronged. And every soul will be fully compensated for what it did, and He is most knowing of what they do. And those who disbelieved will be driven to hell in groups until when they reach it, its gates are opened and its keepers will say, "Did there not come to you messengers from yourselves, reciting to you the verses of your Lord and warning you of the meeting of this day of yours?" They will say, "Yes, but the word of punishment has come into effect upon the disbelievers." To them it will be said, "Enter the gates of hell to abide eternally therein, and wretched is the residence of the arrogant." But those who feared their Lord will be driven to paradise in groups, until when they reach it while its gates have been opened and its keepers say, "Peace be upon you, you have become pure, so enter it to abide eternally therein," they will enter. And they will say, "Praise to Allah, who has fulfilled for us His promise, and made us inherit the earth so we may settle in paradise wherever we will. And excellent is the reward of righteous workers." And you will see the angels surrounding the throne, exalting Allah with praise of their Lord. And it will be judged between them in truth, and it will be said, "All praise to Allah, Lord of the worlds." The fire, they are exposed to it morning and evening, and the day the hour appears it will be said, "Make the people of Pharaoh enter the severest punishment." And of his signs is that you see the earth stilled, but when we send down upon it rain, it quivers and grows. Indeed, He who has given it life is the giver of life to the dead. Indeed, He is over all things competent. Indeed, those who inject deviation into our verses are not concealed from us. So, is he who is cast into the fire better, or he who comes secure on the day of resurrection? Do whatever you will. Indeed, He is seeing of what you do. To Him alone is attributed knowledge of the hour, and fruits emerge not from their coverings, nor does a female conceive or give birth except with His knowledge. And the day He will call to them, "Where are my partners?" They will say, "We announce to you that there is no longer among us any witness to that." If we let Him taste mercy from us after an adversity which has touched Him, He will surely say, "This is due to me, and I do not think the hour will occur. And even if I should be returned to my Lord, indeed, for me there will be with Him the best. But we will surely inform those who disbelieved about what they did, and we will surely make them taste a massive punishment." It is Allah who has sent down the book in truth, and also the balance. And what will make you perceive? Perhaps the hour is near. Those who do not believe in it are impatient for it, but those who believe are fearful of it and know that it is the truth. Unquestionably, those who dispute concerning the hour are in extreme error. And you will see them being exposed to the fire, humbled from humiliation, looking from behind a covert glance. And those who had believed will say, "Indeed, the true losers are the ones who lost themselves and their families on the day of resurrection. Unquestionably, the wrongdoers are in an enduring punishment." And who sends down rain from the sky in measured amounts, and we revive thereby a dead land. Thus will you be brought forth. And we gave them clear proofs of the matter of religion, and they did not differ except after knowledge had come to them, out of jealous animosity between themselves. Indeed, your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that over which they used to differ. Say, Allah causes you to live, then causes you to die, then He will assemble you for the day of resurrection, about which there is no doubt, but most of the people do not know. And who is more astray than he who invokes besides Allah those who will not respond to Him until the day of resurrection, and they of their invocation are unaware? Do they not see that Allah, who created the heavens and earth and did not fail in their creation, is able to give life to the dead? Yes, indeed, He is over all things competent. The day they will hear the blast of the horn in truth, that is the day of emergence from the graves, and that incumbent upon Him is the next creation. Their eyes humbled, they will emerge from the graves as if they were locusts spreading, racing ahead toward the caller. The disbelievers will say, "This is a difficult day. In that we will change your likenesses and produce you in that form which you do not know." On the day when Allah will resurrect them all and inform them of what they did, Allah had enumerated it while they forgot it, and Allah is, over all things, witness. Have you not considered that Allah knows what is in the heavens and what is on the earth? There is in no private conversation 3, but that He is the 4th of them, nor are there 5, but that He is the 6th of them, and no less than that, and no more, except that He is with them in knowledge wherever they are. Then He will inform them of what they did on the day of resurrection. Indeed, Allah is of all things knowing. On the day Allah will resurrect them all, and they will swear to Him as they swear to you, and think that they are standing on something. Unquestionably, it is they who are the liars. Never will your relatives or your children benefit you. The day of resurrection He will judge between you, and Allah of what you do is seeing. They are the ones who say, Do not spend on those who are with the Messenger of Allah until they disband. And to Allah belongs the depositories of the heavens and the earth, but the hypocrites do not understand. Or do you have oaths binding upon us, extending until the day of resurrection, that indeed for you is whatever you judge? Then He will return you into it and extract you another extraction. I swear by the day of resurrection. Does man think that we will not assemble his bones? He asks, when is the day of resurrection? And the moon darkens, and the sun and the moon are joined. The day the horn is blown, and you will come forth in multitudes. Then when He wills, He will resurrect him. But when there comes the deafening blast, on the day a man will flee from his brother, and his mother and his father, and his wife and his children. For every man that day will be a matter adequate for him. Some faces that day will be bright, laughing, rejoicing at good news, and other faces that day will have upon them dust. Blackness will cover them. Those are the disbelievers, the wicked ones. Do they not think that they will be resurrected? And by the promised day, indeed, it is He who originates creation and repeats. Indeed, Allah, to return him to life, is able. Has there reached you the report of the overwhelming event